Against this right back, Charlie's definitely.
You always use that active red light, suspended. I think it's like.
Oh, no, I'm actually here. People, Deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Hope you're all doing well and safe. Obviously, you lot always get on to me about notifications and all those sort of things. So we've been going, 10 minutes early. We've been pressing the live button, running the ads we need to run, letting the video spin and all those sort of things. Sorry, messy player. I caught you off guard. Nah, man, Twitch is live stuff, my brother. Obviously, if you're subscribing and you're following, I'm pretty sure you can watch my content that I've previously broadcasted live on the replay on Twitch. Although I'm think today I actually saw it technically expire, so it don't live there forever. I know I repost a lot of stuff onto YouTube, and 24 hours from now this will go onto YouTube, such as the the contractual situation. But love to the Twitch gang out there. As you lot know, we're trying to build up the Twitch gang. Hopefully we can get to 10k before the end of the year. Same way we've got YouTube, we need Twitch. If something happens to Twitch, we go back to YouTube. If YouTube it fails to exist tomorrow, we go to Twitch, and then we build up the next platform until one of these platforms thinks we're good enough people to throw the bag at us and we finally have made it. But until then, we keep grinding. Now, obviously, anything Arsenal, get your questions in. Anything, get your questions in. Obviously, I like to talk about, well, rightly or wrongly, I don't know whether I should be praised or admired or pitied for talking about Arsenal, but I spend a lot of time talking about Arsenal, as you lot know, people. As much as I love Arsenal, there are some neutral topics to get into and speak about and things. Like I said, make sure you're subscribing and you're following and whatnot via Twitch so you don't miss a beat. A man said, introducing the best content creator on the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, DG, that's massive praise. Thank you very much, my dude. I don't know if that's me, but I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, trying to improve, and hopefully one day we'll be worthy of such title. But yeah, you're right, it's live. Niz, I'm appreciative of the fact that you love the content, man. Sammy, you the same. Man said, people, Deluded, maybe the two greatest words in the history of YouTube/Twitch. You lot gas me, man. Man said DG leveled up. Don't know what I did, but one love, man. Big up DG, starting to realize now that I need to invest in Adeyemi stocks. Absolute baller, debut goal as well for Germany. I'm tired of talking. DG, I don't talk. I talk about a player and, on my Arsene Wenger-ish, get it still. They're at a premium, but get them before it's too late. My opinion, I don't think he'll be at his current club a year from now. A man said was without Wi-Fi for a week, but I'm back. Hey, fair play. Shout out to you for getting your Wi-Fi back, man. Why pre-deleted you good, broski? Big up my brother. I love for that, my fellow yard brother. One love to everyone out there, man. But yeah, man, obviously I'm doing well. As I said, well, I don't even know at this point if I've said it. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and obviously good night, depending on where you guys are, man. It's a slow day in terms of football news. But yeah, man, let's crack on. As you lot know, DG podcast tomorrow morning. If you're not over in the UK, it'll probably be the first bit of content I upload. So make sure you're keeping an eye out for that. Shout to the people that follow via Apple and Spotify because it'll be there. But a lot of you asked me in my last live stream, you was asking me what happened with this Brazil-Argentina business. And truthfully, I don't actually know, people. I've been disinterested. I've actually used this international break. I've been watching highlights and I've watched the occasional game, but I've just completely disengaged, man. As much as I like football, I think it's best to look after the mental. And shout out to Saka for scoring and whatnot yesterday and assisting a couple. I've watched the highlights, but I'll be real with you, look, I don't really give a crap about what's been going on in international business. But courtesy of the Athletic, hopefully we don't get in no problems. But let's get to the bottom of it. It's as simple as that, innit? Explained. Brazil, Argentina suspended, health officials on the pitch, queries over Premier League star quarantine status. And I think there's been some news in relation to, I believe, Martinez and Buendia. They're traveling somewhere else. I think they're still going to Croatia. But it's an absolute farce, people. It's an absolute farce. You wouldn't believe professional football would be there. Long story short, health officials ran onto the pitch, querying the status of a number of Argentine players in relation to COVID, and the match was abandoned. But it wasn't necessarily the most important image of the fast that played out in Sao Paulo on Sunday night, but it was one of the most revealing. As the arguments raised in the midst of the nonsense and finger pointing, Lionel Messi and Neymar feverishly discussed the mayhem that was playing out in front of them, usually so in control when they crossed those white lines. Those white lines, I was right. These two giants of the game were reduced to jaded bystanders by consistently infiltrating world of South American football as they talked it out and realized there was nothing they could do. We're going, said Messi, resigned to their fate, and so Argentina did, with only 8 minutes played of their World Cup qualifying Brazil. Messi and his teammates trudged off the field, followed by the coaching staff and associate hangers-on. Boy, so it's not looking well, and I don't even want to click this, people, and tempt fate, but, you can see it's not favourable scenes. By the time FIFA released its statement confirming the suspension of the game, the visitors were already on their way out of Sao Paulo. Flanked by a police escort, they headed for the airport. As their 90-seater coach barreled through the western fringes of Brazil's most populous city, those on the board still seething at the interventions of public health officials who stormed the field. The reincarnations had begun, but the feeling that was impossible to shake was that this was also pointless, so avoidable. So again, I would love for this to just get to the surface of it. On the surface, this might appear like your classic South American football story, skipping forward, but the root causes of it make it feel much sadder. The only question is how far back to go in picking apart the nonsense. A normal international break would see 2 fixtures per team, but given a COVID-19 ravaged schedule, and as we know, South American football is actually behind in terms of its World Cup qualifiers and things like that. As you look, I could never say the acronym, people, but CONEEMEBOL, I butchered that. But the Federation of the Football of South America, the football, the collective association, apparently they attempted to squeeze 3 World Cup qualifiers into a brief window, which was afforded basically by FIFA's calendar, with varying quarantine requirements and the likelihood of players returning from international duty having to isolate. As we all know, the isolation things have been a consistent problem. The Premier League last week released a statement confirming it would not release players for games in red list countries, and as you lot know, that provided its own little club versus country matter, which obviously FIFA got involved, and they said players can do what they need to do. Despite the Premier League obviously having their words, as you know, Aston Villa released their players, Tottenham Hotspur released their 2 Argentine players as well. The Argentine FA confirmed to The Athletic this week, however, that Buendia and Martinez would be staying for all 3 qualifiers. This was news to Aston Villa. As you can imagine, this was already going to be a complicated case and strain on relations, but now the key to which direction the fallout from this incident blows is likely to center on whether those 4 players had indeed lied when filling out forms on arrival in Brazil. So again, obviously the players are gonna be the ones taking the flak for it, and they're the ones that have to sign it, whether it be a visa or things of, in this case, COVID status. But you'd imagine, obviously, the players can have to have the book thrown at them if they've been gassing it, but this just stinks of maybe officials around Argentina's footballing association, people that are in deal with admin stuff. They've told a little white line. It's come back to bite people on the arse. If I'm completely real with you, that's what it sounds like. Apparently, as alleged, Argentina played Venezuela in Caracas on Thursday before obviously heading to Sao Paulo. Apparently, it's alleged the British-based players admitted Britain, considered a high-risk country by Brazil, as somewhere they had been in the last 14 days when completing their paperwork on landing. So people gassed it. Apparently, the AFA did not respond to questions from The Athletic. Of course, they're not, regarding the paperwork and whether the players in question even filled it out themselves. They never filled it out themselves. We all know, players, not to say they're stupid or anything like that, but the whole point of admin staff and these staff around them is that they don't have to worry about these things. Players just need to get themselves from A to B. So I think the players are being hung out to dry. I think people are a bit blasé in the FF where the AFA is concerned. One source close to South America, to CONMEBOL, I believe it's called, did question whether it even mattered, given South American countries were allowing quarantine-free travel corridors for footballers who are part of a secure bubble. This is likely to be the crux of the AFA's argument over the coming days. Scrolling down, it is one of many fingers pointed in anger inside the Argentina camp that Brazil not only recently held a Copa America that featured 9 delegations flying in from all over the world, but they volunteered to host the tournament after authorities in Argentina and Colombia had decided their respective nations could not do so in the current climate. This is where politics obviously come in, folks. Argentina's players should have been subject to a waiver, having held the Copa America earlier this summer. The local authorities should be fairly familiar with how this works. Some in Brazil suspect that this episode might be retributional from Brazil's government against its footballing federation, but it would obviously be a curious way to do so. We're not going to read. We're not going to read all of that, people. A simpler explanation might be that Brazil were seeking to get one over their eternal rivals. Let's skip forward. There's a lot of jargon. This guy's just waffling too much. The bigger picture is that the Copa America in question simply should not have been played. Argentina pulled out of hosting duties due to COVID. Colombia did the same. But when those two had withdrawn and countries with 6 of the worst 10 outbreaks in the world were all headed to the tournament, the obvious answer was to cancel it. Everyone understands the financial strain on football, especially with fans removed from the stadium for so long. But the Copa America, originally slated for 2020 and then obviously pushed back a year, was not even a regularly scheduled tournament. It was another bonus tournament after it was decided to be moved to an odd year, as you lot can see. Argentina rightly under the spotlight with the paperwork filled out by their players set to become a central part of evidence in this case. Brazil's footballing health authorities have a lot of explaining to do, while obviously the federation confirms greed is what created this condensed calendar. So again, footballers are just guinea pigs because, as you can see, they've been hung out to dry. They're playing in a tournament, a Copa America that wasn't supposed to be there anyways. They're playing in a rushed fixture calendar in terms of World Cup qualifiers. The players are just guinea pigs, and even in a COVID market, they're going to be guinea pigs. So long story short, I don't think, good thing it ended there. As you lot can see there, it's just a circus, people. It's an absolute circus, and that is quite baffling, really and truly. The Argentina players who play in England were supposed to isolate because England is on Brazil's COVID red list. The Brazilian health officials did not like the fact that players who should not have been eligible to play played and stormed on the pitch. Boy, not gonna lie, I thought in Brazil, I thought football low-key overruled the law. Bro. Boy. And I never saw this, but apparently Otamendi's laid his hand on officials. So it's a circus, isn't it? It's an absolute circus. It's an absolute farce. Again, you would imagine, or you would better yet not even imagine. You would just hope that people that are in charge of fixture calendars and scheduling fixtures and things of that ilk would have things into play where we wouldn't even be sitting here talking about this as part of a live stream, people. But sadly, we are. So in terms of a timestamp, we're going to say 11 minutes to 23. Argentina versus Brazil, suspended/stream start. Let me help people because I want them to just be there for 10 minutes of nonsense. But yeah, man, moving away from that, it's a madness, absolute madness. So I'm as baffled as you lot, absolute madness. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing. Who did it? No, we're innocent. You're innocent. We'll never know the facts. And like I said, I just feel sorry for the players. I feel sorry for the fans because Brazil, Argentina, it doesn't matter if it's a friendly. That's a big game. I feel sorry for the players because they've been denied a game. They've still risked their health traveling everywhere. There's a lot of other jet lag issues as well. I feel sorry for the clubs because they're racing around the clock probably to even know if you've got any of them Argentina players at one point. Your liaison officer or whoever is in charge of player logistics must have been up all night thinking, where the hell are these players? Like, if I'm Villa, where's Buendia Martinez going at this point? Are they going? Are they staying? And whatever. Maybe even wishing you never even released those players and you listen to the Premier League. Now, obviously, the club's always going to lose a battle. National pride is something not to be played with. You deny a player the chance to represent their country. That could be it. Not that I feel Buendia would do that, or Martinez, or where Spurs are concerned with Lo Celso and Romero went, I believe. So it's baffling. And to be honest with you, I don't know for suspension and whatnot, but you would imagine that's not the first sort of story of that sort of ilk you see, in my humble opinion, in the next 6 months or whenever, as long as these internationals are being played. People, make sure you're following and all of those sort of things. But that's that, man. Lateness is greatness. Big up DG and the nation. Come on behalf of everybody, one straight back at you. And obviously, with that being said, people, we might as well crack on with this Mo Salah business. Now, allegedly, he wants 500,000 a week to stay at Liverpool. For what it's worth, Salah. From what it's worth, I don't believe such. I believe, how old is he? 29. You've got to get your last big contract, and he's got to think about it. Obviously, a lot of players, due to just Messi and Ronaldo moving, due to the COVID market, due to, in my opinion, if you're trying to buy these elite players, I'm talking about, or anyone could really, but players that are going to cost 100 up or 90 up, if you're going to go for anyone really, and I know Mbappe's got his heart set on Madrid, but you're trying to get Mbappe, Haaland, people of that ilk. If you can't get that, then you might listen to if Mo Salah wants to leave Liverpool. Now, I think he's got a lot left on his deal. I'm actually cautious to see what happens with Liverpool, because they've set some good foundations for the future. But when I look at their team, they've got a good 11. And as you saw last year, if people get injured, there's an issue. Now, they all pulled together and did what they need to do. Shout out Towns for that as well. Big up yourself, Towns, for that one. But yeah, they're 11. When I look at succession planning, they've got Harvey Elliott, they've got Canute, but then a lot of their players are for the present, and I think Liverpool do a good job of renewing contracts. All the time it seems like players are renewing in deals, and as an Arsenal fan, I'm jealous, but Salah's here for the present / not getting any younger. The same goes for Firmino. The same goes for Van Dijk. The same goes for the spine of the team, with the exception probably of Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson. And there will be a time, in my opinion, Liverpool spend big. I don't know for the FFG. I'm just talking about from a footballing point of view. They've got the Harvey Elliott's, the Curtis Jones, all of these players. But if Salah was leaving tomorrow, who are they buying, or who's taking over the mantelpiece? That's what you're looking at for me when you look at Van Dijk, Mane, and all of these guys. And I wonder, how long is that team going to stay together, full stop? Because, Ronaldo got an opportunity to PSG and go. And don't get it twisted, it's fantastic being at Liverpool. They're doing good things. But at the same time, none of these players grew up in Liverpool. It's a job at the end of the day. And I'm sure they all have other ambitions. And for me, it's not that I get stale or anything, but you want a change of environment to push yourself or try another thing. And that goes for the gaffer Klopp as well. I wonder what happens when he leaves. Surely he's thinking about it. They've all got to a Champions League final, kissed the Premier League and not won it. Then obviously won the Premier League and won the Champions League. Salah's completed it. He's completed the Premier League and he's completed it on an individual basis as well. Probably going to get 100 goals for Liverpool. Well, I say probably. I swear he's like 2 off in the league or something mad like that. So I do want to see how Liverpool rebuild and if FFG are going to be there or how they rebuild, because again, these players aren't going to come cheap. I know when they grabbed Salah, when they grabbed Mane, when they grabbed Firmino, they all did that. They were all fantastic individual studies. And one thing I love about Liverpool, what they did is they saw what the player could be tomorrow, even Jota to a degree, and other players of that ilk. So I don't really think you can fault Salah. You have to know your worth. You have to seek finances, and it's probably your last opportunity. As I said at the start, probably what's affected him and a couple of other players is that there's just other things going on in the market, and it don't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to spend that outlay on you, no matter how good you are. None of them have it. Real Madrid, I'm sure they would probably go for Salah and someone else if they could. People, let me pause this. But as you look, and like I said, I don't think Salah wants 500k a week. Do I think he maybe wants 350? Something like that, maybe. Now time will tell. Mo Salah, out of all of them, I'm sure they're open to letting Mane go. I'm sure they're all looking for a number 9 that can replace Firmino, or maybe a creative player that can fill in where he fills in. I think Salah, is not to disrespect any of them. I just think Salah is the one they can't afford to lose. I think Salah's the one that if they were to lose him, it sends a big statement out, in my opinion, into where Liverpool, the direction they want to go in, unless they did an absolute madness. My opinion, he signs a new deal. But for what it's worth, Mohamed Salah contract talks continue after 500k per week reports. Liverpool are keen to sign a new long-term contract with him, obviously, after, to call it an impact at Anfield is an absolute joke. People, the page is froze. Liverpool, for what it's worth, are continuing to press ahead with talks over a new long-term contract for Mo Salah. Negotiations are ongoing between Salah and his representatives, who is in the final 2 years of his deal that he was signed in 2018. They're keen to reward the Egyptian, obviously, for scoring 127 goals in 206 games for them since joining for 43 million. Not bad for a one-season wonder, as they called him, really and truly. And for me, I'm keen to see the direction of Liverpool, like I said, because they need succession planning. Salah's going to be here for a number of years, but none of these players are going to be there forever. I'm sure they have to be open to Klopp going, Edwards, who, again, as a football fan, we should only focus on the football, but that Edwards brother is as integral to all of these other people in their successes. So one has to wonder, with Edwards going, when Klopp goes, what happens with these players as they get older? You can't get younger. What the direction Liverpool are going in. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Apparently his agent caused a stir last month after when Salah scored in the 3-0 victory over Norwich. He said, I hope they're watching. And to be fair, you're all gonna do that. There's not too much into it. It all depends how much Liverpool want my man to stay. But for me, you do everything for Mo Salah to stay. Let me know what you lot feel in that regards. I can't imagine letting Salah go. Salah can't afford to you can't afford to let him go. They'll be paying him more than double Van Dijk's wages, who is the best centre-back in the world. Liverpool shouldn't sacrifice their wage structure for one player. It's a slippery slope like Sanchez at Man United. That's true. But this is where succession planning comes into it, you know? All depends. Again, there's not too many. Let's be real. Whatever you think about Salah, there isn't too many players that can directly replace him. They're linked with Doku. Who knows? Doku might become a talisman in that ilk one day. But if Salah leaves tomorrow, Liverpool needs someone who's going to score now in it, sort of thing. And I just feel one love to Mane. I think he slept on, but Salah is one of the best players, if not has a case to be the best in the league, like Ronaldo, Lukaku, couple of other players, Bukayo Saka. There's nothing to plug at Arsenal. I had to. He's a madness. So it's all about what they see in him, you know, because Salah, people don't really give credit for what he was doing at Roma. You know, he was doing some impressive things at Roma. He went away after Chelsea, built himself, and Liverpool scooped him at the right time. Klopp worked with him and took him even up another level. So as much as I say I can't see who's there to replace them today, as I said, Liverpool do a good job of, at the time, everyone can say Salah's a baller now, but there was a time people would have turned up. They know, Salah, he was at Chelsea. It didn't really work out. You know, I wanted Mane at Arsenal purely because it felt like we either signed this player, like we see now, we either signed this player, or they're just going to keep scoring against us. Mane, I don't even think Mane had a boot sponsor them days. He was wearing some old F50s, just used to tear Chambers a new one. You would think Arsenal fans would learn that, you know, Chambers can't really do the right back thing from then, you know. I feel in that regards, who knows, they probably know who to get. The same goes for Mane, same goes for Firmino. No one was really rating them man there, so it depends. With Salah, I just can't see your opposite for you unless the financial structure changes, you know, and there's certain people try to do Galactico things. Who knows? Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, PSG, they've been linked with Richarlison. They might turn around and say Salah. Who knows? If Salah stumps his feet, things can happen. But I just don't see where you go, really. Now, I can't lie. Barca need to find some pennies and go for Pete in the same way. When I say Salah, Haaland, and Mbappe, half of these players, people like Barca need to find their P's and just go for all of these guys, or just be linked with all of them, because they need them the most out of all of these big clubs. But I think he stays. But what do I know? Please let me know your own opinions as well. I have a bad feeling that FSG are going to sell Salah for some reason. I don't trust FSG. Think they'll go for Ismail Assar. They said the same thing about Coutinho. What do you specifically mean by that, broski? South America is where it's popping. First Rojo and Boca Juniors scrapping players and staff. Now this, trust me. And even though it wasn't in South America, you even see Sao Paulo of Marseille and all them, man, they're involved and moving mad. It's crazy, man. It's passion. Absolute passion. But it does, you know, it does make it on the topic of Liverpool and the FFG and where the direction is, because for me, it's about succession planning. Liverpool have success now. It's about building. You know, Liverpool, it's not quite the same, but you're getting the Ferguson and Wenger ilk now, sort of thing. You know, you're getting the Wenger ilk, like who takes over, and I hope they've got their people in mind. And obviously Edwards off the field. Obviously, I don't know his direct role, but I look at someone like Arsenal. We lost David Dean. What happened to us? They lose Edwards. What happens there? Klopp says, I want to go back to Germany, or he's off. You know, he said I need a break at some point. I think he's contracted until 2024. So what does that look like? It's like at PSG right now. If they hold on to Mbappe for at least a year and win Champions League, then fair enough. But Messi not going to be there forever. Mbappe, Di Maria not going to be there forever. You know, what's Neymar even saying? I'm keen to see what Liverpool and PSG are specifically saying in the next 3 years, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, man, it is what it is in that regards. They said the same thing about Coutinho, that they couldn't afford to lose him, and look what happened. To be fair, I don't know who's quite said that about Coutinho, really, but he was kind of their guy. But I just think Salah's different, man. I think he's way more complete than, well, it's never a thing. He's way more of a complete player than I think Coutinho ever was, because there was a long time, if Coutinho weren't really hitting bangers, he weren't doing much. I can't lie to you. As great as he is, the path of Gerrard and his staff, Michael Beale and Gary McAllister, to Liverpool is so obvious that could be an avenue. Klopp should leave when Pep goes on his 2-year break. To be fair with you, I'm sure Klopp off his own accord, he said, I need a break. I need to do this break thing as well. Klopp Liverpool break. He never said I'm busting out, but he has said for years, I need a break and things like that. You know. Let me see this. And he said it definitely will happen. Make sure you're following and all of those sort of things as well, people. On that, I think I can bring it up here. Well, it's not changed. Sorry, folks. Why is it showing me there? Allow me. But yeah, people, look, if I hopefully there's no problems. Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp, he said the sabbatical will definitely happen. It's not scrolling down. He said the sabbatical will definitely happen. Definitely, we don't want to win any more Premier League games, and the thinking of the owners change. I'll take a year off, no ifs or buts. Let me see the exact article this is allegedly from. So we can't actually say that, but he said I'll take a break. He said one thing is clear: when the Liverpool contract ends, there'll definitely be a year off. Nobody needs to call, not after 4 months, not after 6 either. No matter who tries, it's a 1-year break. So again, he might go back into Germany. He might try a different league. Who knows? He might say, I need a year off. Liverpool, do what you're doing. I might come back, which that's probably a fantasy. But Liverpool don't need to be worried. You got him for 3 years, innit? But like I said, the succession planning. Hopefully by then there's someone that can replace Edwards. FSG get their act together, or they find someone who can get their act together. The Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott's, all at Canute, all of these guys, the players of tomorrow, step up. You're probably going to see a different Trent Alexander-Arnold them times, because I'm not saying he's a leader, but he's going to need to be him and Robertson. But Trent is going to have to be the leader. There's going to, at a point, Trent's going to be there. There's going to be other guys, but there's not going to be Van Dijk. There might be a next guy who's as good as Van Dijk, but it's not going to be him. There's not going to be a Thingy and Allison. There might not be a Milner about, There might not be a Salah. There might not have been a Wijnaldum who's not there anymore. You get where I'm going. He's going to need to be the guy. And he has been the guy, obviously. They make it, Liverpool fans never ever let you forget the fact that he took a quick corner in that. So, yeah, you have no problems with that. But Jurgen Klopp's contract runs out in 2024, and he intends to see it through, and has been quoted saying just how happy he is with Merseyside. He said, I don't see that much. I didn't say that I want to become a national coach, but that I cannot. That's a huge difference. There is a very clear commitment. I have an important role here at Liverpool. Becoming Germany national coach would be a great honor, but the timing is not right. I cannot. So maybe he needs a sabbatical because he needs to, football is intense, but that just tells me he's not ready for, largely as an international manager, you're not doing much. He's not ready for that, people. So yeah, man. And to be honest with you, mental health matters really. Like he has to take it, people. He has to, or it's gonna be mad. As you can see here, 3 days ago, man said he just wants to live a normal life, and obviously he gives great joy to football, to football fans and Liverpool fans, like we all are. You lot are Liverpool fans, or I'm a fan of football. But that robs him of his personal life. I know he loves football, but it's important to have things away from football. Who knows? Man could have just wanted to go fishing in some German lake for a year. You're robbed of that. Obviously, you're robbed of your family life. And as great as it is being Liverpool, we all spend time. Time is a currency we have to spend, and not to make it evil, but we all got to die one day, sort of thing. So we have to build memories in that. And as much as it's important memories for Liverpool and the role you're in, you need to remember the family. When everything's on the deathbed, you're not going to really care about the fact that you won the Champions League, are you? It's about your family and whatnot. And it's about just doing things that last a lifetime. Not saying there's very few things more important than football. Everyone that has common sense, you get where I'm going. But yeah, Jurgen Klopp here has reiterated his desire to take a break from football once his time at Liverpool is up. He's keen to live a normal life again. When the Liverpool contract ends, whenever it will be, I first have to find out what it's like to lead a normal life again. And I think someone like Jurgen Klopp, you're not gonna know where to put yourself, man. And he said, a year off, I've never had that, but I'm deeply relaxed there. When you're out for a year, it can also be a good thing that maybe no cock crows at me, which is definitely fine. What I do is unbelievably fun. I really enjoy what I do. The only problem is that in my job, you have no end of day, no chance to switch off. As a content creator, I get you, my guy. Do I really have to have that into old age? I don't know. And he's kind of reiterating what I'm saying to you lot, really and truly. So that's where Jurgen Klopp is concerned, people. Very keen to see what happens over there at Liverpool once he keeps it moving, people. But yeah, make sure you're following if you haven't hit the follow button and them things. We'll leave, folks. Timestamps and them things. Man said Salah's gone crazy. Feel like he'll see out the life cycle of his current squad and try to leave it in a good state with young players for the next manager. It probably will. But you'd imagine by 2024 that would be it, because you would probably need to replace one of the front three by then, and they probably still do a job. But you'd imagine the Curtis Jones and these sort of guys, if they're ever going to be of a certain ilk and ready to play for Liverpool, they would have, I don't want to say hit maturity because they're still going to be very young, but of a certain level now where it's not just a young player thing. We can kind of depend on you and whatnot. And again, you know, Harvey Elliott keeps going, you know, to go. Curtis Jones keeps going. You got Trent. There'll probably be one or two others popping around. Liverpool sign a next player. Who knows, man? It's just like at City. I'm keen to see with City now. I do think City's how to make it make sense. City's situation is different because they can just buy their way out of it. I don't know if Liverpool can do that. Like they can afford to get it wrong. Robertson as well. Like I said, he's only 27, but in what 3 years? Yeah, he'll still be like 32. He'll be like the Milner in it. So yeah, you would still have certain players around, but do I expect in 2024 to really be to see Van Dijk's a baller? So is Salah, so is Mane, so is Firmino, so is the rest of them. Jota's going to be there as well. But some of the names that when we first think of Liverpool, I don't expect to see them still playing to this level. If that makes sense. Time catches up with all of us, man. Hopefully Liverpool crash out of competing again. Kells, I ain't got no beef with no one, man. I'm just... If they crash out, they crash out in it. As long as it's not Spurs, people can do their thing, man. Yeah, man. Could be completely different. And it's all about character. You're not going to have no Henderson as well. If nothing more, with respect to Henderson, leadership. You know, you got Henderson, Milner, Van Dijk, Alisson. You know, you got your Robertson, you got your Trent. I think Curtis, well, from what I've seen, I don't know, I wouldn't know if he's a leader, but from what I've seen with Curtis Jones, he's definitely got that chip on his shoulder and it will open his mouth when it needs to be. For me, that's a variation of leading. It's not just about doing the Connor Cody thing, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, I think they'll be all right, but it'd be interesting to see. Everyone's cycle runs out in it. And I'd even admire this Liverpool team more because I've actually said they've outdone their cycle. People think that team's been together way more times than people give it credit for. Like I said, they were the bridesmaid in both competitions for a second on the clock. You know, they got to the final with Real Madrid in the champs. It didn't bang. There was one time, I swear there was the season before they won it. They were running away with the league. They bottled it. They went one better, obviously, when they learned their lessons and whatnot. So it is what it is. But among anything, it's just effing exhausting being a football manager, I guess, you know, because like you said, there's no switching off. When he won the Prem and the champs, the fans could celebrate. He has to think, oh shit, might have to buy this so this can happen. How do we retain it? There's a target on our back. So you never really get a time to celebrate. And Klopp looks like he loves to celebrate, to be fair. So it is what it is where he's concerned, man. Klopp about to bring in another right back and have Trent play midfield too. That, to be honest, is not the worst things, but Trent's gonna have to be retaught how to play midfield because the cameo I saw, but I think Reece James did better, but it didn't. There was no space for Trent. It didn't quite work. You know, there's more than being a midfielder than playing those lovely passes that Trent can play, and he used to play there. And obviously, he's probably become accustomed to not only playing right, but playing how Klopp wants him to play. So there's a bit of changing it up. I do think he can. I think Reece James right now is the better option to try that with because he's just more fluid with it. But it was very interesting to see that. Really. Now the time. What else have we got to speak about? Let's go. Lukaku. United struggles. Where's my tabs gone? Sorry, folks. But yeah, Romelu Lukaku has been speaking about his struggles at his former club, Manchester United. Obviously, it's been income. But as you lot see, Chelsea striker admits to Manchester United struggles after defending Inter Milan exit. People scrolling down. Pardon me, I can't get rid of this ad. Apologies. But he said, Lukaku says Inter Milan got him out of a deep hole at Manchester United and admits he was only ever going to leave leave the Serie A champions for Chelsea. Scrolling all the way down, we know he's got a terrific record, but he said, I was only going to leave Inter Milan for Chelsea. Kids love Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, and Chelsea. For me, everyone knows what Chelsea means to me. If they ask me why would I say no, I only realized that Chelsea was serious at the third offer. So it was 100 million, then it was 105 million euros, then it went to 110 million euros. Then I knew this is truly serious. I was in a deep hole at Manchester United. I didn't want to go behind Inter's back. So after training, I went to Inzaghi's office. I didn't want to ruin the atmosphere because I was no longer with my head in Milan. So I asked him, please find an agreement. Can't see what he said about United that's been bad or anything. But yeah, he's then obviously spoken about why Chelsea's a good fit for him. He said the first 2 training sessions, that intensity was so high that the first 2 or 3 days I had a bit of a scare. But 2 days before the match, we had a training session where I scored 2 goals, and I thought, yes, the team is looking good. The coach is looking good. I love the system that we play because it's the same system as here with Belgium. And I think he's hit a landmark for Belgium recently as well. Congrats to Lukaku. Only the emphasis is different. So what he means by that is, Tuchel might be more on, his emphasis might be on more scoring goals. Martinez's might be on holding shape, for example. So it's the same 3 at the back sort of system and whatnot. That is what it is. Jonathan Antonio, I'm going to pretend I never saw that, bro. But any more of that slander on my country, you're going to have to get blocked. We didn't see that. We just forget that game happened. It is what it is, isn't it? No point being at Chelsea as a teenager. Fair play. Robertson. I thought someone said something about Richarlison. So, yeah, what other news have we got to patrol through as well? People got rid of that. Got rid of that. What else is there, people? Obviously, we can talk about Jorginho. Apparently, he's keen on a move back to Italy. Now we hear that all the time. Move back to Italy. And then obviously, you've got Van der Beek. Apparently, his Everton move broke down, folks. Which we feel a bit sorry, if I'm Van der Beek, I feel sorry, man. I don't know if you're going to be the forgotten man at your clubs, but it's a big gamble for me for Jesse Lingard to stay at Manchester United. Obviously, he did your thing for England, but are you going to get into the England team, for next year's World Cup? Are you going to get football? Van der Beek, the same logic, man. But yeah, just before we get into that, somebody said, Manchester United fan here, I can't even be mad, but if he was Di Maria, I'd be even more pissed. To be fair, he ain't even said much. He ain't said nothing there. Being a teenager at Cobham is your best chance of becoming a talented footballer. Fair play, Chelsea. What's Martial's future in your opinion, bro? Again, I don't know, man. I really don't know. Is it a thing now where your time at United, not that it's done, you can still stay, but right now it's the Ronaldo thing, it's the Greenwood thing. Other players are stepping up. Again, I still believe Martial's talented, but that's a bloated football team, a very bloated football team in attacking options. Obviously, there's better games to play. Injuries can change things, but I do think, you look at Van der Beek, you look at obviously Dan James. I think you're open to offers for Martial. I would love Martial to get it together because he's a talented guy, but it might just be one of them where different environments needed now, because there's a lot of these players that, you got Rashford as well. 1 minute they're wingers, they're strikers, your wingers, your strikers. There's only so much football to play. Martial's got to probably ride out the season, innit? Obviously, you probably maybe revisit the situation. Someone in that United team is going to have to leave in January, in my humble opinion, because there's only so many more games. I don't know if it will probably be Van der Beek. I don't know if Martial will be allowed to leave or if they want him to leave. Because at the same time, you could ride the wave. Ronaldo signed a 3-year deal or 2 years with an next option of a 1. Maybe loan out Martial. If you loan out Martial, I'm sure they want to sell him loan with an obligation to buy something, but you loan out Martial, you wait for Cavani and Ronaldo to kind of move on, then suddenly there's opportunities there. But I think someone's in trouble, and I think he's gonna be in trouble, really, really and truly. Martial probably just needs a change of environments, man. I just think Martial's made a lot of moves too early in his career. Like he went to Monaco when they were trying to be Galacticos. He signed for Man United where really he didn't do nothing in the game much. There's still a lot of development to be done. He's not good enough for his back to goal. Bit one-dimensional at times, but he's a terrific player when he's on it, man. That's the thing about Martial, There's game time there, but you're gonna have to earn it, and that should really just kick every United player up the arse. Because again, only 3 players can play up front, 1 in the 10. Unless you're Paul Pogba, who's played off the left, could obviously play in the free role and probably will play in the pivot. There's an issue there, really and truly. So everyone's just got to, when you get opportunities, take them, really. And I think Martial has the talent to do it, but now the the penny just has to drop for Martial, if I'm honest with you. But keeping up the theme with Manchester United, allegedly Van der Beek's agent confirms Everton talks, says Cristiano Ronaldo's arrival is bad news. His agent allegedly said, Cristiano arrived on Friday, which we knew was bad news for us. Paul Pogba plays on the left, and with Cristiano's arrival, it means another extra player in midfield, with Pogba moving away from the left, which is true because he's going to have to come up. You can still run him off the left-hand side and things like that, but it's probably not going to bang. You're going to need Pogba to play in the pivot now, and they're going to have to find balance between Pogba playing there, Bruno playing there, and whoever plays next to Pogba. Personally, I think they need another 6 or 8 who can play a ball forward. But no matter how you do it, there's different options they could do. There's only so much game time, and they're still in every cup and whatnot. But yeah, man, things can change. But moving on, his agents also confirmed talks were held with senior figures at Everton, only for Manchester United to block a move away from Old Trafford on the night before deadline day. We had conversations with Solskjaer and the board. We took the initiative to find a club, and our search ended up at Everton. And to be fair with you, that's what a good agent does. He finds you a move. Maitland-Niles, take note, come. I never heard your agent was speaking with Marcel Brands and Marishi, the money men and the decision makers at Everton. Anyways, people, on Monday night, we received a call from Solskjaer and the club, who told us that the transfer was out the question, and he had to report himself to training the next morning. He's yet to feature in United's opening 3 games, people. His situation, the Athletic have said, he's become an increasingly peripheral figure at Manchester United, and there seems to be little opportunity for him to stake a claim. There must be he must be really not bad in training. His mentality, not that he's a troublemaker. It must just be. I don't think he must just not have the chip on his shoulder. He must have real self-confidence issues, or Ollie just doesn't feel him. And this makes me wonder: was this an Ollie signing? Was this a club signing? What's going on there? Because it's just, you didn't feel it was going to be like this. And look at the names of man's behind. Now, granted, it's a different role, but he's behind all of them. And they spent 35 million on him. He started 4 matches in the FA Cup and 3 in the Cat Yarabel, but has failed to make an impression. And I don't know where it is, but I'm sure I saw this earlier, where I saw some additional comments where he said his client is not an FA Cup player. He's not a Cat Yarabel Cup player. He's a Premier League player, and he needs to play according. So yeah, man, we'll have to see what's going on in Van der Beek's situation as well, folks, man. But it don't look promising, really. It looks kind of peak, if I'm honest with you. In terms of Jorginho, folks, allegedly he wants to return back to Italy. It would be a dream for him to return to Italy. Jorginho's agents opened the door to transfer away from Chelsea. Now, considering he's won the Euros and the Champs, maybe there's talk of a new deal, but I don't know, people. They signed him in 2018. He signed a 5-year deal. That agreement is due to expire in less than 2 years. So already, kind of a hunch what I said, there's probably talk of a new deal, or if Chelsea, are not trying to tie down his new deal, considering how integral he is, then they must have planning to move him on. And whoever steps into that role, I don't know. Can Billy Gilmore do it? But his agent has said he has a contract with Chelsea until June 2023. Obviously, it would be a dream for him to return to Italy, hopefully after winning the World Cup. So he wants to do one more season, and it just stinks to me like his agent does this quite a lot. We'll have to see what the market looks like in a couple of years and what the other situations are. We all know he was linked, as soon as Sarri got sacked, he was linked to joining Sarri back at whatever club he was going to go to them time. So I don't know if that's too much to read into it, but just because of his contract, it's weird. You got to be wary. Now, from Chelsea, players rarely leave for free, or there's them rare moments there. So I think Chelsea will resolve that situation, and he'll either be sold or, something else will happen. But that's that anyways. Make sure you're following and whatnot, people. What else are you lot saying? He has a casualty of bad squad building. Bring the man home. All these transfer talks always contradicting. Free up Donny. He was part of the panic buying Man United did when they didn't pick up Sancho the first time round. That's true. So you'd think, why not recoup your fees? Because Everton are dumb like that. Everton spent 50 million on Sigurdsson. You'd imagine you could grab at least 40 for Van der Beek, save a bit of face. It didn't work out, but the P's are there. Don't know for his wages and all them other things. If he was that good, he would be in the team by now, in my opinion. To be fair, man, football always comes down to opinion. So while I think Ollie must be seeing something really not convincing on Van der Beek, you never know. The man just don't look like he's been given a chance, man. If Donny leaves, what club do you think he'll go to? Well, for me, he needs to probably just go back to his homeland, for one, just get the love for football again. Everton, them sort of clubs there will link with him. They'll go back for him, in for him. I'd entertain it at Arsenal if United would deal with us, but I don't think it's going to go down there. Trent in midfield didn't bang like I thought / hope, but it's only 45 minutes. Still think he can be a next level box to box. I'm not too sure about box to box, you know. I can't lie. Even though he's got the engine, I don't know. For me, he used to play midfield, and I don't know, man. The positioning just looked poor. From what I saw in the extended highlights, his positioning he just weren't on it, man. It was a very congested midfield, so he's a bit irrelevant. Like I said, playing in midfield is more than just pinging a ball over the top. So yeah, man. I don't know. Barca is on a madness with all these Dutch, man. To be honest, they need to probably sack Koeman, man. Big up Trent on the ad banner. Not too much known about that, but one love to him regardless, innit, for that one. Yeah, it's going to take way more than one half, bro. And he's been playing as a Klopp fullback as well. It's going to take more than that. That's why I thought Reece James just looked a bit natural in that role a bit more. Donny shouldn't go back to Holland. The league here is too bad for him. Only one club that can pay for him. Fair play. Imagine if Everton had originally signed Donny from Ajax, we'd all be praising the deal. To be fair, a lot of us were praising the Man United deal. Thought, yo, cool. United normally get held to ransom, 30 odd million. That's not a ransom. I thought even if it didn't work out, he'd make substantially more appearances. You know what? Barca could be a good retreat for him. You know, they've got De Jong there, they paid there. You know, Wijnaldum clearly knew something because he was on going there until someone gave him the drop and he realized that's not the place. It would make sense. I actually want to see how much Donny van der Beek has played for Manchester United Football Club, like actual just games. Man's only 24, you know. He's probably wasted what? When did he join them last year? He definitely wasted a season. How many Man United appearances have you got, like, for Manchester United? 36. Oof, it's a bit rubby. What competitions are these in? How many times you played in the Champions League for Premier League, for Manchester United? Because obviously that's the bread and the butter. You've played 19 times, 511 minutes. People were praising Everton for class, and yeah, they were, you know. Koeman doesn't look past Christmas. The new president didn't even want him. Hopefully, bro, I can't lie. Obviously, there's a lot of people you need to leave Barca, but Koeman's not built up for that thing, man. I'll say Barca, single figures, I'd guess. But who knows? We'll never truly know, I guess, but just have to see, man. What, Van der Beek? For me, he can play as a deep line midfielder. He's probably best in a free sort of, not a 10, but you've got a free role to be box to box and run up and down and things. I think that would be best for him, because for me, you get everything with him. I wouldn't rely too much on him defensively. He reminds me of them Arsenal players, a bit of them Arsenal players Wenger used to have in that, you know, you got to keep telling them they're amazing and stuff like that, or they start feeling some sort of way. They're a bit, I don't like to say it because it's not really present day terminology, but soft youths, like, just, yeah, man. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everton get the man in when Maddison leaves. Fair play. Man played half the games and probably ain't played a full 90. Exactly. So it's like, and you know what it is as well? It's demoralizing when you know you're training and you're on the bench, but you're not coming on. The manager don't really rate you. You know, that's going to kill your enthusiasm. Yeah, you still have to keep working and grinding and things like that. But it's just like, you know, you're not playing in it. Like, it can be demoralizing. Donny feels like a bit of a luxury player for a good team in a weaker league. I have him down as a luxury, not luxury, but I see what you mean. But I think he can play Premier League. I think he's a Premier League footballer. He's just not been given a chance to really display that at Manchester United. Bro, De Jong's found himself. I can't lie. I think his first year at Barca, and I remember I used to get a lot of heat for saying it on my streams. It's like he didn't know I'm a Barca player. It's like he's still on this respectful thing. It's like you need to deep that, okay, cool, I play for Barca, I've got to be the guy. And De Jong's an absolute baller, man. Absolute baller. Harvey Elliott about to play 500 minutes in his first 10 games this season, bloody hell. So I think that tells you how good Harvey Elliott's doing. And to go back to our Van der Beek conversation, it kind of puts into perspective. You know, obviously you should always fight to change your manager's opinion, but when you've been there for a year, you know, unless a miracle happens, you get that one opportunity, you score 2 goals or you do something mad, you know you're not playing. So it's demoralizing. Like, imagine going to work knowing that your owner or the owner of the company or your manager or whatever don't truly believe in your thing. No matter how much enthusiasm you got and you've just joined them, basically, that's gonna kill you, people. And like I said, I don't know nothing about him, but he's not like a Roy Keane or someone like that where they might not feel anything. He's a confidence player anyway, so him not playing is gonna make him really poor. Danny really scored on Donny. I think you meant to say really scored on his debut and never got another chance. Club is backwards. To be fair, end of the day, man finished second and got to a final though, so there's no smoke without fire. But you must not rate him, man. You must not rate him because you'd imagine even he surely, if he could, maybe he can't play in a free or in the pivot, and then you've got Bruno and you've got Pogba. Because if he could, or you know, he could offer something that, you know, maybe he could switch roles with Pogba. Pogba plays in the pivot, the slightly more withdrawn role. Van der Beek does that off the left beat bullshit he was doing, that Pogba was doing, and whatnot. Elite sports requires elite mentality. No, he can still have elite mentality. It's just certain people are more different than others, isn't it? The way to get a positive reaction to you and me might be different. I might not be able to take the shouting thing. You might be. Like for me, and I know myself, I don't mind people shouting at me, but it's silly. But I have to rate you, innit? Like I have to rate your opinion. That's why me, when I'm even playing Sunday League, not that people are saying wrong things, but if I don't rate, and it doesn't mean you're not a good footballer. If I don't rate you and you're talking, man's not taking it in. So I already know I can only listen to certain people, and that's the same. Certain people will only listen if it comes from someone creditable. You know, like John Terry said, I'm not taking criticism from Robbie Savage. You know, certain people you can shout out in a group, it will be cool. You shout at some other people, some people, they want to fight you, they start conspiring, or they crumble in front of you, and that's them. You've killed them. So it's about reading people. And you know, one thing I'll give Ollie is his man management. I haven't seen anything to say it's not good in it. I think his man management is decent. He knows. For me, I think he took Greenwood out of the team last year when he needed to and brought him back in. I think he's good with that sort of stuff, people. So I'll give him the benefit of that. It must be there's something that Donny van der Beek is not doing. But if you know, Ollie is good at that stuff and he's done all of that stuff and he's still not rating the thing, then it's not exactly looking promising, is it? We're all sensible enough to see that. So we'll have to see exactly what happens in that regards, people. Imagine Maguire shouting at Varane. No, they'll talk to each other because obviously Varane probably says, "Who's this?" But he probably's got respect. It's about respect, innit? Sort of thing. Like you gotta have respect, man. Can't lie, man. Start shouting at me. I'm giving them like 10%. See, you're sounding like you're one of them Ozil Donnies. You know, this is what I'm saying. So man, have to realize we've got dons at my team wrong is like that. Some youths are soft. That's right. I don't want to talk to you, but basically, long story short, me and one player were moaning at each other, and basically, my gaffer said, "This he's a bit of a soft you in it. He's gonna be in his feelings and that. Just allow him in it." So I did it for the gaffer, like sort of thing. Where some man, like in our last defeat, you know, on Sunday, me and someone are arguing about the line. It's cool because I'm not getting at you. We're getting at what's going on, sort of thing. Ozil Donnies, that's me. I don't know about the ability, but yeah, whatever, man. They're probably trying to keep him until January to see if Pogba agrees a pre-contract elsewhere. But even if Pogba does, you still have him for a year, innit? Sort of thing. Lukaku gonna play next match, I'd imagine so. Maguire will just ask him who got bought for 80 M. I love football, man. That's a mazza. But it's true though. You're not wrong at all. You're not wrong at all, bro. What other things are going on in the world of football? I can't imagine there's too much. Lukaku's got a thigh issue, so yeah, he might not play. Then I never knew that. Never knew that. But it's a long way into the end of the week, people. So I imagine they'll try and everything to get him fit. So yeah, maybe not. Concede only played in the FA Cat Yarrow Cup. Well, at this moment in time, that's where he's looking like. And You know, the American Gooner just said Ollie doesn't rate Donny, which probably is the case. The be all and end all. It looks like a pretty open and shut case to me. I just think, you know, the club have scouted him. Ollie's okayed it. Ollie might have even wanted him and been the driving force. I just think he's looked at him in a couple of training sessions where, you know, and for whatever reason, he's just gone, I don't really rate you. You know, I think we made a mistake. I'm not really on this. Pardon me. I think it was just one of them ones, really. And that happens a lot in football. It's like we got it wrong. It's an issue. That's it, sort of thing. Yeah, Ollie told me, bro. Ollie told me. Right after we were taking turns with your mum, man. Your mum's up for a good time, bro. Grow up, man. Why would you? Come on now. Sad to see caliber players like Donny and Jesse going to be warming the bench when other good-sized clubs would almost play them week in, week out. Well, I don't know the ins and outs with Lingard, but it seemed like Lingard could leave if he wanted to. You know, Ollie's open to keeping him, but he's shown he'll go out on loan. With Van der Beek, we just saw it looks like there was some other things going on, man. That's a nozzle, Donny. I don't know why what's going on, bro. Yeah, trust me, man. I'm subscribing, and the internet's full of weird youths, and they're coming to Twitch, man. Hella weird duns, bro. Like, can sling his hook with his sub. What a guy, man. Trust me, some people got too much money to be subbing and saying nonsense like that. Trust me, bro. Absolute nonsense. Subs well spent. Trust me, man. Take it, bro. Hey, guys like that, take your P's, man. DG Nation don't need you. Get the hell out of here, bro. Now, holla Amazon or whatever. Try to get your refund and get up out of here, bro. Because we ain't got time for that, man. What kind of sneaky business are we dealing with? I mean, the Neeks are starting to infiltrate Twitch, but we're getting there, man. Ooh. Well, I don't even want to talk about Mendy, man. Mendy's thing. Just do your thing, man. If a player doesn't fit, he's got to go. Guendouzi, for instance. I think Guendouzi was a perfect fit, but boy. Man said, I need that United all or nothing. They do Donny like Ndombile's cameo. Even him, to be honest, he can play for Spurs, but it seems like Nuno's not on you. Trust me, man could have spent that on a Big Mac Mysterio, but he didn't. Who's going to win the champs? PSG, my team. But it probably won't. It'll probably be, in my opinion, a team that we don't think has a snowball's chance of winning the Champions League will win it. Again, who knows, man? What else are you lot saying? Because I'm sure I've missed out some comments. We all rate Ndombele, man. I just think it's just Ndombile's physicality that I have an issue with. Like, when the ball's to feet, you got a ball at feet, sorry, you're a baller. It's just everything else. So you don't show a willingness to do everything. PSG have to win it. I mean, there's too much. You got Lionel Messi in it. You have to. United agenda, they have to as well. You got Cristiano still. You have to challenge for the league with the champ properly, but it is what it is. But we've been here for an hour and 8 minutes, people. We've covered everything. I'm going to be back here at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. So, yeah, make sure you're here. You know, that's on YouTube. Be back again on Twitch. I think I'm with Coach Gerald Lammy tomorrow at 2 p.m. There's Twitch content every day this week, so make sure you're paying attention. I'm sure we're streaming Football Manager tomorrow as well, so make sure you're here for that. Yeah, man, I'm going to love and leave you lot. One love for everyone that's tuning in. I'm getting quite hungry now, so I'm out, folks.
Against this right back, Charlie, definitely.
Because you always use that active red flag, suspended.